No. Why is yours so dark? It's alright.
It's because the light's so dark. Yeah, I'm just going to leave
Okay.
it.
So.
Viva, week 2.
Week 2. So to start off Monday, we carried on doing the devising piece with Ryan, which was basically us creating our own movement and doing a lift with Joyce, who plays tituba and all that. And we also done like circuit exercises and warm-up to get us ready for
the circuit exercises are kind of helpful because they're helpful because when we go to lift up Joyce. Nah, it's cool, don't worry. Yeah, when it comes to like lifting up Joyce, we gotta be like warmed up and prepared because if we just lift up straight away.
We don't want to accidentally like hurt ourselves and hurt her in case.
Exactly, like plus we don't want to pull a muscle or drop anything like that. And I think that lift exercise was, where was it from? It was I know it's called a crucified lift or something like that. It's from Frantic Assembly, something like that. Yeah.
Like Ryan said that they focus more on telling the story through movement compared to what we've been doing as actors, where we mostly tell the story through just speech, basically.
What's his name? Something Graham. It was a guy who I watched who was literally showing like all the lifts. But
yeah.
I'll find out his name and I'll tell you next week. But more or less is that exercise as well. You gotta have trust. Like the person who's being lifted, you gotta trust them.
There's gotta be some sort of communication, or else it's just not gonna work.
Exactly. Like you need trust in that. What else do we do?
Later on in that day, we just had Jamie again, who mostly had us reading through the script, basically.
We more or less started. Did we start working? Yeah, we started. I don't think. What happened?
We just carry on.
Oh yeah, we started blocking this on Monday, of course, and I didn't really do anything because I wasn't really on the stage, but I'm not supposed to be doing anything on the stage. I'm supposed to. I don't think that makes sense what I just said. More or less is that when people are blocking, I'm off stage. Instead of me doing nothing, I have to go over my script, so I'll be ready when it's my cue.
It helps you give time to learn your own lines and your own cues as to when you have to come in.
What I did as well, I highlighted some of my lines so I can actually see them clearly because they're so close together. But
is it just me who's been annotating like the small little things that Jamie's been saying, like what side you walking, how your character's supposed to feel in this certain part of the
I mean, I don't know yet because I haven't been told to, I haven't been on the stage yet, but when it gives me directions, then of course I write those.
Yeah.
So that was more or less Monday.
So Tuesday, that's why. We didn't get to that part where we do the script, I swear. Because this is where we're just about to finish cutting our script.
Okay, then.
So we've mixed it up. It's fine. So, technically we've just done what we've been doing before, where we were cutting the script with Jamie, with like small little annotation marks of like any changes that needed to be done. And that was it. So after doing that, we're now going to start going into actually blocking out the scene. And then after, we just had Martina in the Mac room where we just discussed a couple of things about like class reps, what we wanted, if there's anything we actually liked about the course or anything we want to change and improve to help us and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, or?
I think it was good that we started cutting out some of the lines, especially for my part, because I had a lot of lines on there. I don't mind lines, like I will learn them, of course.
Yeah.
But like when someone hands me a big piece of paper and I see my name on like every page, I'm like, wow, there's a lot to learn.
It's like a little pressure put onto you.
Exactly, but luckily we had to cut out some of the lines because some bits they weren't sort of like
as important and
it wasn't really into like, I wouldn't say like wasn't in the movie, but like it was relevant. Yeah. That was my sense, to be honest. My strength was probably Whereas all we did was just cross out lines, so
Yeah.
it wasn't really no strength or weakness.
I'm going to do strengths and weakness for the whole week.
Okay, that's fine.
Because then that's easier to do. Since for some days we still haven't like done stuff.
Yeah.
Wednesday we started. So this was when the girls went off on their own and the boys went off on their own, and we kind of created our own small little sequences of movement.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. You can
Yeah.
go fast, yeah, don't worry. Where we create our own little sequences of dance moves, of movement basically, and what the girls done in the beginning of the preschool movie, the girls are in the middle of the forest with Tituba around a cauldron, throwing things and casting a spell on the people that they want to be in love with, basically. And so we had to create that through movement by telling that story, basically. I think that's the easiest way I can say it. And then the boys.
For us, we worked as an ensemble to like create like a scene where like, so more or less I was in charge. Like, so Ryan told me that I'm in charge. I'm the director, me and Luke Madej. So what we did was like we had like 4 boys on the outside of the room. We had to imagine there was blood on our hands, and we just had to try and get rid of the blood and just keep watching it violently and go in the middle, come back and all that. It was pretty fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
One way how
You
I
can just
did
walk through it, it's fine.
one way how I did it, which kind of helped me a lot, like me imagining there was blood on my hand. I pictured Lady Macbeth, because like in Macbeth, like you know, Lady Macbeth, she sees blood on her hand, she keeps washing her
It's like
hands.
guilt and all
Yeah,
that kind
like
of stuff.
the guilt of her telling the king to what's it called, kill, or Macbeth to kill the king. So I'm
And then
honest.
her hiding the dagger. It's like criminating almost, even though she didn't physically do the killing.
She's sneaky.
So it's kind of like Tituba a bit. Like she didn't mean to cause any harm for any of the people in Salem, but technically she did cause it all to happen.
Yeah, but then again, I still blame Abigail. She really annoyed me, so I still blame Abigail for what she did. There was no need for her to hit the chicken.
Yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, we had some new people coming because we added some new stuff, and of course we had some new boys who came in saying that, oh, okay, what should we do? What should we do? So I'm honest, directing them saying, okay, you can go there, you can go there, which I found kind of hard, but directing's actually not as hard as you think.
Especially if everyone like listens and communicates and just tries not to, because the quicker you get that over with, the more time you can add new ideas and improve it.
Yeah, because I let everybody speak. I wasn't like the only one to speak. I said, okay, if you got an idea, just tell me, and we can do that. Another thing which I was told to research when doing that was, or doing our choreography, was watch The Witcher, and with Henry Cavill, and Taboo with Tom Hardy. I haven't started yet, but
The Witch is definitely a good one to watch because of the magic in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start watching it probably this week, like on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, because I'm working on the other days. But I'm gonna definitely start watching that because it'll give me like an idea of like how witches act. There we go, like ow.
Yeah, it's like proper like myths about witches and that kind of stuff.
It's gonna be more naturalistic.
We then. So after that, we then put our devising piece and the piece that the girls have created together to see if it just flows and it's clean and it makes sense being put together, basically. And we've come to the conclusion that it does work. It really does tell the story of the girls and the cauldron and all that kind of stuff. And I think the audience will easily be able to tell who's who. Once they've seen the entire kind of thing.
Yeah, because when I watched like your performance, of course, I didn't need to know like who the characters was. Of course, one of you guys said, okay, that's that one, that's that one. To be honest, if you didn't tell me that, I still would have thought like, okay, that's Tituba, that's...
Like when Madaj calls out Abigail, Abigail's there, so it's kind of like the audience straight away goes, oh, who's Abigail? Who's this?
Exactly.
Is
Like,
she the main character?
It's, yeah.
And then...
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. And then after we were in the Mac room where we just started our project proposal and our timetables as to how we're going to improve our skill in not just the time that we're in school, but also outside of school in our own time. We use things like YouTube and other websites that gives us any information of how to improve our skill and how it will help us as an actor and as a final performance as well from all the things that we have learned. Anything you want to say about it?
Proposal, it was the timetable we did, to be honest. I did one timetable because I thought we were just gonna do, well, they said 5 weeks, so I said, oh, okay, I'll just do a timetable more or less every day, but I guess I didn't get the instructions properly. So, oh well, I still did it now. I've done the timetables now, so I'll definitely follow that.
And then to end this week, we had, this was when we first started to block out the first scene.
Yeah.
It was definitely a new experience because it was our first time doing a whole play, basically.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I've never been in any play, so I've never had to start at the very beginning and get blocked properly from a director, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was a fun little experience.
I remember the first play which I did was back in primary school when I did Lion King. Of course, it was like a children's thing and all that sort of stuff, but it's more intense when you do it now.
Yeah.
It's no more playing around or smiling, happy joys and all that sort of stuff. This is actually a serious thing we're actually doing. Crystal, she's just gonna open the door, but it's a serious sort of thing, to be honest. But I really liked it a lot, and what I did on Thursday, more or less, was just, as I said previously, was just go through my lines, highlight the words which are too close to each other, and just, find out the meaning of what I'm saying. Because in the first scene in Act 1, I'm talking to Abigail, and I still need to understand the context between my relationship between Abigail and my character, which is sort of
and how you're going to show it towards the audience. So for the whole week, I feel like my stripes was definitely my focus. I was able to instantly know what I have to do and just get on with it, and not really get distracted with anything else that wasn't really, what's the word for it? It's not really necessary. And I feel like for a weakness, I think my movement, I feel like I need to work more on it because I always just rely on my voice and I get very lazy with movement. And it shows when we started blocking out the beginning of the first scene, because when I have to play as Susanna Walcott, there's literally it just looks the exact same as I would play Anne and Elizabeth, which I need to be able to differentiate for the audience to understand. So that's something I need to work on. What about you?
For me, I'll say my weakness is understanding my lines, because I know they're not just words, they all have a meaning. So when I'm on stage, of course, reading my lines from the paper or without them, I'll give it more emotion towards it. I won't just read off a book. So I'm not reading a book, okay? I'm actually have to give emotion towards it. So how I more or less achieve that is go on my Spark Notes, or just because that's a good website to go on. I'll go on Spark Notes, and it's a thick.
Most of it's cut though.
How many pages is it? Or you haven't cut it?
I think there's
87 pages. You can still walk across, don't worry.
Yeah, you're allowed to walk
Oh
across.
my god, sorry guys,
That is
recording.
fine.
Sorry,
We're
the
literally
recording, stop.
We're literally just about to finish. It's fine.
We're cool. I think how I can improve it is more as on Spark Notes, and he's just looking at the phone. Sorry, but just go on Spark Notes, analyze my lines, and just go through them, or even watch the movie on digital theatre, and I feel like that will help me improve my emotion towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was week 2.
That was week 2.